Hello everyone, it's Cynthia with your daily tarot card of the day. This week we are using the Medicine Woman Tarot. Now I have information about this deck in the description box below. So while I shuffle, I'm just going to take a moment to tune into the general collective energies of the day and tune into spirit. These messages are timeless, so whenever you happen to find it, there's likely a message here for you. But take what resonates and leave the rest behind. I invite you wholeheartedly to tune into your own intuition, your own higher self, inner guidance, spirit guides, however you look at it, so that with whatever card comes up, you might receive your own personal messages and insights. Five of Stones. Five of Stones. Balanced giving, sharing. Is it in sharing what we have or what we can is one of the things that makes resources abundant for everyone. And so I'm seeing with these five people here, the three celebrating and the one giving to the other, I'm feeling this sense of a generosity of spirit, appreciation, gratitude. Those are the things that pull us out of this feeling, because I am in my mind's eye seeing like the traditional Five of Pentacles in regular tarot. And that's usually this sense of, you know, loss or lack or, you know, being left out in the cold, or those are very common themes that most people pick up on from looking at the card. And what I'm seeing here, it's almost like a flip or a reverse of that. The antidote to those feelings or to that state of circumstance or that state of being is to embody appreciation and a generosity of spirit. And that is actually the thing that helps us to balance resources in our lives, to balance both giving and receiving in a sense of value and quality and worthiness, right? Because without that, you can't really get to the achievement levels of the 8, 9, 10 of Pentacles, so to speak. In terms of physical manifestations showing up, we have to go through this process of turning those feelings of lack, or those feelings of wrong circumstance or loss, turning them around. Abundance is in every form. If you have an abundance of bills to pay and you're feeling like you don't have the resources to pay them, or if you have an abundance of stuff, you know, in a closet, in a shed, what have you, and yet you feel sort of poverty-stricken, an abundance of food, yet lacking in health, right? Like, we can have an abundance of things, but if we're looking at what's wrong with what we have, then we're going to get more of what we don't want, more of what we think is wrong, right? So this card really seems to be talking about like the antidote to what we would traditionally see as the Five of Pentacles. The Five of Stones is talking about being able to share resources, being able to give and receive, being able to flip that narrative around so that we realize, well, I do have an abundance, but it's an abundance of things that I don't want. So how can I appreciate what I have, appreciate something about this situation or this circumstance from a bird's eye view, from a big picture, step out of it for a second view and find the appreciation, find the gratitude. And then with a generosity of spirit, realize I do have something to give, or I do have something to share. Sometimes we're afraid to do certain things or participate in certain ways because we feel like we don't have something to offer. We don't have something to bring to the table. And that can impoverish our spirit. So it's not always about physical resources, but again, it's about how you feel about giving and receiving that helps you to flip this narrative of, well, circumstances might be what they are, but I have this, this, and this, and this, and this, and that's wonderful, and I appreciate it very much. And I'm going to focus on, this level of sort of giving and sharing that creates celebration. Even if I'm just offering my, thanks and praise in the morning that the sun rose and, I got up out of bed. But even giving in that spirit, right? So I'm really picking up from this Five of Pentacles about flipping around a narrative, catching yourself in perceiving or defining or judging a particular circumstance, situation in such a fashion where you're constricting rather than feeling open and generous. So this is talking about really cultivating that generosity of spirit that allows you to hold your self-worth and hold on to an abundance of positive things that you would want in order to be able to move to the next level where, the Six of Pentacles is balancing the give and take and balancing the resources, being of service and also being able to receive for said service, that kind of a thing. And the Seven of Pentacles, nurturing those seeds and being patient and nurturing with that so that things can grow and develop and change, right? And then getting to the Eight of Pentacles and recognizing like, hey, things are going well. This is valuable. This is what I want to do. I am good at this. So there's a lot here about self-worth too, actually showing up in physical form for us with the Pentacles, whether that be in terms of our health or our finances, creativity, relationships. When you are abundantly generous in spirit with others, then there's always a smile to be had. There are always people who will be around who know you because of, the good energy that you bring. An abundance of friendships, or even if it's not an abundance in numbers, there's an abundance in the quality of the kinds of relationships that you have with your friends or your family or your community or different groups that you're a part of or in your workplace, right? So it's this level of flipping the narrative, going from feeling impoverished in our spirits and in our energy and contracted to feeling expansive and generous and valuable. Because we value the things around us, we value ourselves, then there can be this exchange. You're exchanging value. You're exchanging worthiness. If you recognize you are worthy and you recognize that all around you is worthy and you're appreciative of all of this abundance that is around you, then there's this this exchange. It becomes easier to both give and receive because you're recognizing that there's value in everything, and that's wonderful, right? So I'm seeing like this, again, possibly flipping a narrative or getting ourselves out of a negative headspace, opening up generosity of spirit, generosity with our energy, sincere appreciation and gratitude, but being very open with yourself about it. Right? It doesn't even mean you have to run around saying thank you to everybody for everything. Just like willy-nilly, like walking down the street. Thank you, trees. Thank you, grass. Thank you. Waving to somebody and thanking them for their smile or something. You can if you want to, but it's the sincerity of really just sitting down and appreciating what's around you. And then, when you genuinely allow yourself to feel called to appreciate what's offered to you, the small gestures and the big ones, yeah. So honestly, it's a wonderful energy of, again, generosity of spirit, appreciation, and potentially flipping our narrative in terms of how we value ourselves and how we share with those around us, and recognize that this exchange of resources, time, energy, like the universe will start showing up and sending people into your experience and circumstances that will shift, that will start to shift you in a new direction of what abundance do you want to have. It kind of reminds me of the planet Jupiter too. I'm going to close with this one. Everybody talks about the planet Jupiter astrologically being the planet of expansion and growth and good luck. Well, Jupiter's a magnifying glass. So yeah, expansion and growth, but it's going to expand and grow whatever you point it at. So compost is very useful, but it can also be quite smelly. So if you're pointing that magnifying glass at that, it's going to be even smellier. It's going to be even bigger. Right? Now you can grow a lot of good things out of that, but you might not appreciate being in close vicinity to it for very long because of the smell and the flies and everything else that you might find around a compost pile. So recognizing that that's abundance, we can grow and expand what we put our attention on, with or without Jupiter, right? So we can have an abundance of lack, or we can have an abundance of resources, an abundance of blessings, right? So working with your thought energies and, again, keeping open. If you start to feel contracted or restricted, or like you're decreasing the value of things, start increasing the value of things. Start opening up generosity of spirit. What increases the value of things? Appreciation. Depreciation decreases the value of things. When we appreciate, gratitude plus care, we appreciate, increase the value, and we tend to our appreciation then we start to see that reflected. And again, this celebratory nature, this sharing nature of resources are truly around us. How are we going to focus? What magnifying glass are we going to put that on? So thank you for being here with me today. And I am very appreciative of all of you. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow, and I wish you an abundance of peace and blessings today and every day.